Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a little bonus video where we are going to play with the Glamlite and Ghost Face collection. This one is available now. I have the PR box here. I also have the big bag and we are just going to go through all of this. I'm going to talk about all this. We're going to try all of this. I'm going to swatch all of this. Just seeing if this is like worth picking up or not. So this one comes in a custom PR box like this, and let me see if I can open this one up. I have all the packaging in here, and I think a couple of these things did end up selling out. I don't know exactly which ones. I think all the things are available, not in the sets. Some of the sets might be, but I'm not 100% sure. When I looked, it seemed like one of the full bundle sets were sold out, and I don't know if the bag is still available. It is a big bag like this, and it's got one of those like motion things on the front. I'm gonna be honest with you. Where am I going with this? On the inside, there is a bunch of space, and there's also a strap here that you can be using. I have actually been invited to a Halloween party, and if this was smaller, this could have been a handbag, but this is like a carry-on luggage. So it's cool, but it's not perfect for me. I don't want to say like, oh, I'm so classy. That's definitely not it. I love quirky fashion, but I also am of the mindset of like, I like buying fewer but nicer things. And I know myself, if I kept that one, I just wouldn't get good use out of it. So yeah, you can buy all of these things as a bundle. Again, I don't know which bundles are available or not, but let's just start with all the items. Like I said, this was sent to me as PR. This video is not sponsored. I just like reviewing Glamlite products because I think they make fun, interesting, like I said, quirky things with different themings, with good quality and a good price tag. And you can use my code Angelica and you get 15% off at Glamlite, making these things even more affordable. So let's start actually with the lip products. I'm wearing a lip liner today, but I'm not, there are two different lip sets, and I'm actually not wearing any of the lip liners from the lip sets because I'm gonna be showing you here. One of them is like an almost black lip liner with an almost peachy milky nude like lipstick, and I do think that there's a lot of people who love this kind of a contrasty ombre lip. I'm not that person. I personally almost never do a darker lip liner with a lighter inside. And the other set is a very beautiful red sheer glassy like jelly red gloss, which I think is amazing, and it comes with a darker red lip liner, which again, it does make it versatile. You could either use it with another lip liner, which I'm doing today. I'm actually using the lip liner from the Rick and Morty set. This one is that's the orangey one from the Rick and Morty. It's also from Glamlite, which is a lighter red, but you can also fill in your entire lips with the lip liner and use this gloss on top. But I thought the gloss was so beautiful. And to this day, my favorite lip product from Glamlite to this day is the Strawberry Shortcake Gloss. It is so pretty. And this is like a blood gloss. I do think this is pretty, but I just didn't want the darker liner. I think that is really pretty. I personally prefer something that's a little bit more sheer, but I know a lot of people love something that's a little bit more pigmented, and that such a comfortable and balmy texture and a little bit almost pillowy on the lips. So this one, really, really beautiful. There's also a blush in this collection that has also that, like, you know, it gives you different fronts depending on how you angle it. And this one is just a ghost face blush, and it is a nice dark red. So I'm gonna be using this one, and I'm going on lunch, to a lunch just after this. So, boop, that's pigmented. So I don't want this to be, I say as I'm going in with red blush, I don't want this to be a too smoky and crazy look, but I'm gonna use it a little bit in my temples as well, since it is a red blush. This one is very, very pigmented. I'm actually gonna go in with my powder brush and just sheer this out. If you have a deeper skin tone than me, I am a light medium. I will put the foundation and everything that I'm using down below in case you want to have for a reference. I would say that this one will show up beautifully on you, but just know that it is very pigmented. I kind of want to do another look after this, just seeing how this would be as eyeshadow, because it is so pigmented, like so pigmented. But I'm using a little bit of my temples as well, just to tie in with the eyeshadow that I'm gonna be doing. This one is super cute. I've killed the imprint now that I've swatched this one. You can't really see it, but this highlighter duo has a really cool imprint, but it's not like a deep imprint, so when you start using it, it will disappear. But this is a highlighter duo that has one more cool tone, almost lavender-ish shimmer in there, like a little bit more of a sparkly highlighter, and then there is one that is a light champagne that is a little bit more of a smoother highlighter, and I'm gonna use this champagne one. I really appreciate that they put two different formulas in here, because I feel then that it really, ooh, that's very highlighty, it makes sense to have two shades when it's like two different like formulas. And that more sparkly one will be perfect if you're like going out, or if you like a more sparkly highlighter, or to top your highlighter to make it look even more like wet looking. And they both have a little bit of a sheer base, which means that they will stretch over quite a lot of skin tones. So here is the palette. Oh, I'm gonna bring out some palettes that people said that they thought that this one reminded them of, and this is the Glamlite and Ghost Face palette. Same here, it has one of those fronts that moves. Does that make sense? And this is what the palette looks like, and it says inside Ghost Face Lives. And honestly, I think it's really cool with the imprints. I actually have watched these movies. I'm not the biggest fan of horror movies, so it's been very fun to get like really angry comments from people who've seen my Chucky video that like, I can't believe you got sent this as PR, you don't even like horror movies. And it's like, I like makeup. I review makeup, not horror movies, so it makes sense that when you are on a PR list for a brand and they release a collab that you might not know much about, that you would still receive it. But I have watched the Scream movies. Actually, really, I enjoy the Scream movies more when I watch them once, when I know where the jump scares are, because I don't like jump scares. I don't like being like scared, you know, like that jump thing. I don't like that. I don't mind a gory movie. I don't mind a scary movie, or like, you know, that like thriller feeling. That I don't mind, uneasy feeling. I just don't like the jump scares. Here's the thing that I will say about this palette. Immediately when I opened this one, I was like, look at me. There's a hand mirror as well. Let's talk about that quickly. There's a hand mirror. It's a custom hand mirror. Honestly, kind of cool. If you like hand mirrors, I'm sure you're gonna like it. It feels very sturdy. The character is black and white. That's it. That's all the shades there are in. And I've seen a lot of people be upset that there's not a red shade in this one. And Glamlite has said that the reason that there's not a red in this palette is because there's going to be red eyeshadows in their other horror franchise collections that are coming later this month. Here's the thing. Why is there no white in this one? The red, like, I get it. Red for blood. There's a red blush. There's a red lipstick. I get it. But like, there's no white in here. The character is black and white, and there is grays, blacks, like cool tone taupes, and like there's some shimmers in here. Some even are duochromes, but like there's not a single white. I don't know why Glamlite keeps never putting any really light shadows in their palettes. In the Rick and Morty palette, there actually was one or two lighter shades. And I was even saying in that review, it's unusual to see such a light shade in a palette. This one is a light gray. And I don't know if this is going to be light enough to be an inner corner highlight on me, but if you're lighter than me, probably not. I'm just letting you know. Why is there no whites in here? I feel like some of these shades are a little similar. These are a little similar. These two are very similar. One is just a little darker and has like a little blue shimmer, and one is more of a black with silver shimmer. They're very similar. Get in a matte white and a white metallic and like get the contrast in here. Let me actually go bring, because some people were saying that this reminded them of the Chucky palette, and some people were saying it reminded them of the Hershey and Cookies and Cream palette. So let me go get those. I actually already have those swatched, and we can talk and see if they're similar. Let's start with the Chucky palette. I'm pretty sure that this is still in stock, and I think it came to CVS as well. As like a re-release for Halloween. This palette I did talk about last year, and I will say there is more contrast in the Ghostface palette than there is the Chucky palette. The Chucky palette has some more burgundies and some aubergine shades in there as well, so they're definitely different, and I'm guessing this is also one of the reasons why they couldn't put reds in here. It would be too similar to the Chucky palette. I think I personally prefer the color story of the Chucky palette, even though I wish there was one really light shade in here. And I think the main reason is that I love all colors, everything except grays. Grays is not my favorite. It's just not my favorite to work with. It's not my favorite to wear, but I know there is a lot of people out there that love grays, and for that reason you might really like this Ghost Face palette. There are a couple of shades in this Ghost Face palette, and you saw the swatches that lean a little grayy blue, so some people were saying that it reminded them of the Hershey Cookies and Creams palette. So this is what they look together, and I will say I prefer the Cookies and Creams. As you can see, that palette actually does have a couple of light shades. I feel like that palette leans more brown and more blue. Like the Cookies and Cream is actually a neutral brown and a more bluey gray, and I feel like the Ghost Face palette is more like grayy taupes and just blacks, different kinds of blacks. And like there's one here, this shade that is leaning, or maybe it's this shade that is like a gray blue, and I feel like this shade and this shade are very similar, but other than that, like these shimmers, they're not in the Ghost Face palette, but I definitely think that there are a similar vibe to them, even though I don't think they're like necessarily dupes. So you're gonna have to let me know what you think if these are like similar enough. When you are a brand that releases a lot of eyeshadow palettes, and especially when you start releasing eyeshadow palettes that are in the horror genre, it's inevitable that some of them are gonna feel a little similar. Let's zoom in and let's do a look with this eyeshadow, and bear in mind I'm going to lunch after, so let's see if I can do something a little bit more toned down and not necessarily horror related, but I will do something more dramatic as a reel, because I know I want to do something with that metallic black, because that metallic black in the Ghost Face palette is my favorite shade in the palette. It is stunning. I totally forgot to mention 2 items. There's actually a dip liner in this collection as well, and I do have a close-up of this one, and we'll try and do some kind of a liner or something at the end, and we can use that one. And there is something that I actually did not open, and that is the Ghost Face Black Cherry Lip like duo. I started opening it and then I realized that it was glued together, and here's the thing. I never used my Scooby-Doo ones, which was the graham cracker ones. These are black cherry. I'm just gonna put these in a giveaway. I have a lip scrub, and I have a couple of like lip products laying around here. I have one here from Lawless. I do not go through these like other people go through these. So I feel like it would just be a waste of product for me to dig into this one and just never use it or use it up. So I can tell you that it probably smells really good, because the Scooby-Doo ones smelled really good, and I'm gonna be putting this one in a future giveaway. I'm gonna do the Shadows Back, this one, the more taupey one, and we are gonna see if I can get away with that. When I swatched these shadows, this was the only matte that felt a little bit more hard pressed. So that's why I wanted to use it in this look, just to see like how it performs. But yeah, I have to like swirl with the brush to pick it up. But once I have it on the brush, I feel like it's looking really beautiful. So I'm gonna do a little bit on the outer half of the crease with this one, and I'm just gonna blend a little bit on the edge. It's gonna mix a little bit with the red blush. I think it looks good. I don't know, I just wanted to do something that would be appropriate, not only because we're going to lunch in about an hour, but also because I have been invited to a birthday party this evening, and the theming is prom. So I just wanted something that I like didn't have to like change to also fit into that. So I didn't want to show up with like a super smoky eye. Maybe you can have a smoky eye to prom. Tell me if you've ever been to prom. I have not really been to prom. If you have, what kind of makeup did you do? Because I feel like the prom makeup that I see people do when I see like, you know, the YouTube videos that come during spring, like prom inspired makeup, it's kind of like bridal. Like it's a little bridal, but sometimes a little sparklier. It's like a sparkly bridal. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Also, since Glamlite has announced that they are doing more like horror movie collabs this season, what do you think it's gonna be? And what do you wish that it would be? As someone who's not super familiar with with horror movies, please tell me, what would you like to see and what do you think it's gonna be? And then we can just check back in, I don't know, a couple of weeks or so when they have announced what it is and just see if we were correct or not. And with that being said, I think they might have told me. So I think I might have the answer, I just don't remember it. So there is one that's called Chilled Frost, which is like a lighter taupe. Oh, this liner is all over the place. I'm gonna grab a little bit and let's see if we can buff on the edge a little bit. And just buff this out a little, but I think that looks pretty good. Maybe we'll deepen it up with even more dark shadows at the end. Oh my god. My poor crinkly eyelids. And I might put it in the crease in the inner part here as well. I think that could be cute. You know, I love a contrasty look that has like really light shades and really dark shades. And I feel like I might be able to pull that off with this Chilled Frost. But yeah, as you can see, that is not light enough, I think, to be like an inner corner highlight. So I might end up pulling in just something lighter for that. Or maybe we can try the almost white gray. We can try that one and see how it looks. I might be totally wrong. You know, I have questionable vision. So we need to try first. But this taupey one is looking good together with these shades. I feel like that's nice. A little bit more cool tone than I go for, a little bit more neutral than I go for, but definitely lunch appropriate. I used a little bit under my eyes as well. And okay, so here's the thing. I've swatched a couple of these shimmers. They're actually pretty like duochromy. This one is like almost like a pale green to a pale purple. Then we have this one that is like almost like a pinky purple to like a almost like light blue. It's really pretty. So, but I'm thinking this one because it is the one that's like the least fits in with the theme. I hope that makes sense. Like the one that's like the most different, and I want to see how that would look together with the taupes. So I'm picking it up. I'm gonna spray my brush because I want as little fallout as possible. And as you can see, I've already covered my lids with mattes, so I need to make sure that these stick. See, I think this can be really nice. I'm gonna put the shimmer all over the lid and just gently buff it into the matte so it's not like a stark line. Like that. See, there's like a little green and like a slight purple. I think that looks really cute together with the taupes. Maybe with like a small brush, let me clean off an EO5. We can try, which would be the darkest taupey shade? This one, or should I just take a little bit of the black? Let me do just a smidgen. Let's see if I regret this. A smidgen of the black just across the lash line and just a little bit in the outer corner. And then I'll go over it with the dark taupe that we had from before. Just to give a little bit. Oh, that looks nice. Look at that. Look at me doing neutral looks. Who am I? This super light gray shade is called Movie Night. You know what? It might work, but it's very weird that it's this cool tone. It just feels super weird. But this is fine. It's fine. I feel like I'm that dog in the room that's like on fire, and I'm like, it's fine. Just so weird to see myself in these kind of cool tones. You know what? I don't hate it. On me, it is light enough, but if you're lighter than me, you might need to bring in another inner corner highlight, but I still am surprised that it's not like white. To me, that's surprising. Let's see if we can do a little liner. I'm just gonna do a little bit out here. Oh, this. How do I feel about this brush? I think I like the Shucky liner. Shucky? Chucky? I feel like I like that liner more than I like this. Just initial impression. This is the finished look with everything on. I put on a half lash and I think the lippy maybe doesn't go with the look. I probably will switch this out for something else, but I think the lip and the blush goes really well together. I just think it clashes too much for a taco lunch. I might be incorrect. I like the quality of the eyeshadows a lot. I think my favorite thing of this collection is probably the blush and the lip gloss. They're probably my favorite things of this collection. I really like that the blush is pigmented enough so that you can use it as eyeshadow too. I think the quality of the eyeshadow palette is absolutely beautiful. There are some really nice like textures and nice qualities in here, and I was always surprised that I was able to use this in my inner corner as an inner corner highlight. I am a light medium, so if you're light or fair, you probably will not be able to do that, but I still can't say that like it's grays, so I will never be like, oh my god, I love it, because you all know that grays aren't my favorite. And also I wish there was even more contrast in this because it is a Ghostface collab, the white and black dude. I'm just saying. The lip liners are probably a little bit too dark for me. The lipstick, you know what? I'm gonna try this lipstick out. Also, I mean, I've swatched this, but can you see this? Like, I'm gonna do YouTuber 2015 incoming. Do you see the face on the bullet? Do you see that face? That is the best detail of this entire collection, but I will do one more look and I will put it either as a short or a TikTok. I'll put it here on YouTube as well, as long as it's under 1 minute. And I will use that lipstick and we'll see how it is, because I think it could be a really cool color. I just would not mix it myself with like a black lip liner, but it fits the theming of this one. The eyeliner is probably my least favorite thing in this collection. I like the highlighters as well. I probably will not use the sparkly one, but I will say this other one is super smooth, not sparkly, very wet looking. This formula, Glamlite, you need to keep this formula for future references. I think that is the best highlighter formula you've ever done, and I would like to see more of that in the future. The eyeliner, I'm not thrilled about. I didn't love the applicator, and it almost dries down so matte that I can like feel it. So I don't know if it's gonna crumble or not. I will let you know about that. I think I like the Chucky liquid liner more than this one. But overall, I think the whole collection is good quality. I mean, if you like a mirror, if you like a lip mask, wherever did I put it? Here. I'm sure that either of these are gonna be like perfect for you. The mirror is really nice quality, and I've heard people love these. I just don't use them, so there's no point in me, like I said, opening it just to smell it and then not being able to give it away. But yeah, I hope you liked the video. I will leave all the details down below in case you're interested. I am not 100% sure if they will restock this collection, so if you are interested, I would say check it out sooner than later. But again, never buy something that you don't think that you will actually like and enjoy in your collection. But I will leave all the info down in the description box. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. I will see you I'll see you tomorrow for a member tutorial. If you're a member on my channel, my member exclusive tutorial for October is coming tomorrow, Sunday, and on Monday. And Monday there's going to be a new video. Bye!